Okay. Um, this is towards the war in Ukraine. And I've heard so many people, mostly GOP, Republican Party, um, making these wild claims about why we shouldn't get involved and why Putin was right to invade somehow. I don't know where this is coming from. And one of the ones they're saying is that Russia created the state of Ukraine. Even if they did, what's that got to do with anything? The Ukrainian people have made it very clear they don't want to be answering to Moscow. They want to have the right to make their own decisions and um, forge their own destiny. And what I thought about was okay, 1700s, let's go back 300 years. The 13 colonies were created by England, and Americans speak English. So, under their logic, Ukraine was created by Russia, and a lot of them speak Russian. So they should answer to Moscow. So, if we're using that logic, the 13 colonies were created by England, there, and Americans speak English, so they should be controlled by London? Come on. Use your head. That doesn't make sense. And someone said, well, it was only been in the last few years that Ukraine got their independence. Uh, what are they fighting for? You know, it's only been a few years. Well, technically, you're right. It's only been the last 30 some plus years they've had their independence. However, they've been fighting for it for a very long time. The new Pink Floyd song, Rise Up, that they recorded with the singer from Boombox, I can't remember his name, Andre something. Anyway, that song was originally written as a protest song in 1914. It's over 100 years old. It's a protest song demanding Ukraine's independence from Russia, which means they've been fighting for that independence for a very long time. So the idea that this is new is wrong. Okay, so that's two things. The third thing I've heard is that the Ukrainian government is very corrupt. Okay, so what? So that gives Russia the right to invade? If Zelensky is corrupt, maybe he is. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. If he is, it's up to the Ukrainian people to vote him out. It's up to Ukrainian people to make that decision. Not Putin, not America. The Ukrainian people make that decision for themselves. It's a weird things called democracy. I don't know why Americans can't seem to understand it. At least the GOP can't seem to understand it. The one I kind of look at is if America suddenly realized that, I don't know, Justin Trudeau was the worst man on the planet, was the most corrupt government official ever, was stealing trillions of dollars from Canada, America has the right to invade? No, you don't, do you? No. So Putin doesn't have the right to invade Ukraine. If the Ukrainian government is corrupt, it's up to the Ukrainian people to look at it and go, we should get rid of this. It's up to Ukraine, not at Russia. And if you look at the other former Soviet countries, the other former Warsaw Pact countries, Poland, Slovenia, Moldova, Latvia, Lithuania, they're all going, holy crap. They're terrified they're next. That Putin wants to resurrect the Soviet Union. And the former Soviet countries are going, hell no. We don't want it. We don't want to answer to Moscow. We had that for too long. We don't want it. We had it since the 1940s. We don't want it. No. We want our independence. We fought too hard for it. We want it. So they're looking at Ukraine as kind of Putin seeing Ukraine as a stepping stone to resurrecting the former Soviet Union and resurrecting the Warsaw Pact. And Poland was in the Warsaw Pact, and they're like, oh no, we don't want it. So these GOP who seem to be kissing up to Putin, I don't get it. And I want them to answer me one question. One question. If Ronald Reagan came down from, from wherever he is, the man who said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall, he fought his entire political career to get rid of the Soviet Union. What would that man say to a GOP that is literally backing Russia? That boggles the imagination. Like, I'm serious. Why? I actually thought about it and went, what Russian oligarch has bought the GOP? I know, right? I know Putin. I know Trump has a hard on for Putin. Like, the man seems to love him, and he's a tough guy. He's a strong guy. He's a smart guy. I don't know. The more I watch the war, Putin just seems to be getting weaker and weaker and weaker. I mean, you look at the videos of him sitting at those long-ass tables as he's so scared of COVID. He looks weak. And then you got Zelensky, who is out, he's walking, he's talking to his people, he's going to the hospitals, he's going to the war zones. He's a leader. Like, holy crap. And he's kind of on the short side, but he seems to be the biggest man on the planet right now. And Putin just seems to be getting short and smaller and smaller and smaller. And weaker and weaker and weaker. So, again, I think the GOP needs to answer a few questions. Why are they supporting Putin? Like, what are they getting out of it? And like, what Russian oligarch has bought them? And do they realize historically they got more in common with Ukraine than they do Russia? Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. It's horrifying to watch what's going on in that country. It terrifies me. And the more I watch it, the more I just cringe. And someone said something about it, and I went, to me, Zelensky has proved one thing. We got too many politicians and not enough leaders in America, in Canada, in Britain. We got way too many politicians and not enough leaders. And a leader unites. And the politicians in my country, in the United States, in Britain, are just dividing people because they think it's going to give them power to somehow divide people. So, I have these voters, and they don't bring people together. Zelensky's brought his entire country together. So we need more leaders and less politicians. Thank you.